do. I just don't
Right.
have the.
We are live. Doesn't matter.
Bye.
What's up, nerds? How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome back to another episode of the Aggressively Average Angler Podcast. We're going to be talking about some fun things tonight. We're going to talk about the change. The change is always coming. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. If you've been with our channel for more than a year, we make a change every single year. And honestly, it's just to keep up with like what YouTube makes us do. So either YouTube favors us or does not favor us. Currently, they're not favoring us. They hate us. In fact, they are pushing us down into the dirt.
Hate
YouTube
us
has
because they ain't us.
Because they ain't us. Are you saying ain't us? They are sabotaging our channel thoroughly. We haven't changed anything. So all of a sudden it's just plummeting to the 7th layer of hell. So generally like this happens around winter anyways, because we have to change up fishing content. Like this is totally normal for like most fishing channels when it and outdoors, well, except for hunting, like because that kind of happens in the winter. But for like fishing channels in general, stuff tanks in the winter. It just does. It is what it is. Nobody wants to watch ice fishing content either. So we've tried that in the past. So we got to make some changes. We got to figure things out and find what works for us and what works for you guys. Like ultimately what matters to us is what do people want to see? Most importantly, like the people we care about, you guys want to see on YouTube, and what's fun for us to make on YouTube is another big one too. Because I mean, if we're not having fun, like what's the point of all of this? I would argue. So we're gonna get into that tonight. And Paul, do you have your show notes up? Because Google just kicked me out like the moment
I got you,
live.
bro, and I finished everything else. We are
Thank
ready.
you.
So our next members only is going to be November 12th, 11/12. So right after the election, you guys can be as mad or as happy as you want to be, and you can take it out on us however you see fit. Then we will also, well, now I've got, so buckle up for that. Also, as an aside, if you were on our last members only, we did a giant schmiv, which is code for give, and then the word after that is away. And we schmived away. I figured it out. We figured out we had some issues with the shipping. We had some issues with the show in general. It was an absolute disaster.
We had a lot of issues.
Yeah,
it looked really bad on us because you guys, we got to the draw.
We're like, we're gonna give you away $1,000 kayak or a $1,300 inflatable kayak, and then like the show dips out right when we were gonna announce who it was. Now, don't worry though. Hear me out. We had the show cut out 3 times, and it has happened to us before. Stuff just happens. But here's the deal. Everyone who had entered at that point, right before we were about to do the giveaway, was still in the pot, so to speak. And then we got back on, let everyone else who wanted to get in, and we ran off that. So it really didn't change anything. And we only did one draw. That draw happened at the right time when it was supposed to, with all the people who were supposed to be in it. So I feel good about that. Anyways, that aside, we also had some issues with the shipping. Jeff took it to a UPS store, who I think was just feeling pretty lazy that day and didn't want to deal with them. Was going to charge them like $700 or $650 to ship this. It was a joke. And I told Jeff, we were like, we're going to have to figure out a gift card or something. I was like, no, give me the stuff. So he gives it to me. I went to UPS. I got it figured out today. We shipped it out. So congrats to the person that won that. I am actually really happy.
It's right here.
It's something,
Lost and tackle. We did it. And like, it sounded in your email like you were afraid we were going to charge you shipping.
Oh, God, no, not on your life.
We got you, dog. We pay for it. That's our job.
I don't even know how to do that.
I wouldn't even bother. So we did it. We got it shipped. Thank goodness. I told my wife, I was like, we shipped a kayak through the mail. Like that's pretty wild. So
and like I would like to know, you guys, who else is doing that, because we like to make sure that the members only have value for you, and we try and give you the insights. We try and do special schmivs and stuff like that. And we've limited it to, that's the only place we really do it. So it's really important to us that you feel like you're getting the value for being a member. And that's one of the ways that we can do it, is by giving away big, expensive, cool, unique things. So someone got our boy here got an inflatable kayak with the pump, it's just everything. And it is, I don't know, I think it's pretty cool, and we're happy to do it. So that is in the mail. You should have that in a couple of days. So we're really excited about that. But the next one will be November 12th. And like I said, we'll have some more schmivs at that show. So get excited for that. We are. And then, So next up, we have the Q and the D. And I thought this up 0.4 seconds ago. But if you ever played like high school sports, there's like a very specific vibe that happens around 6:45 p.m. Eastern. You get home after like a 2 or 2.5 hour practice where, especially if you're like in wrestling or football or something, you have absolutely murdered yourself. You are wrecked. Swimming, I bet,
Yep.
too, is like this. You're just cashed. You've eaten 1,000 calories before practice, and you're going to sit down and eat 2,500 calories approximately of ramen noodles after practice, whatever that practice is. There is a very specific vibe of show that you go for. It is mindless. It is entertaining, but not too entertaining where you have to pay attention because you're going to zone out. You're going to disappear behind a mask of pain and noodles. And when you do that, there's a very specific show you pick. I know what mine was. Mine was because it also has to be a show that's always available no matter what day of the week it is. And it could be a weekend. It has to be like this particular vibe. So my show that's always on, that always is immaculate, not too entertaining, but definitely fun, MASH. I know it's insane, but it's always very middle of the road. So I know for me, Alan Alda, MASH, it just hit just right, and it was perfect, and it was on for like 2 hours straight, and I would just be like, bah, hammering noodles, watching MASH, and loving my life for that very specific period of time.
For that very specific period of time, the answer that's more correct.
You had that, right? That's not exclusive to me. This is universal to like high schoolers, right?
Well, everybody experienced it at whatever decade they were in. For like our decade of that era for us, for me, it was Cartoon Network's Toonami, and it was always on after school.
Toonami.
So it would play pretty much all night. Toonami existed from the hours of like 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning. Like it would run all night. So I would get home from wrestling and football
when we were in high school, which hurt me.
What? When we were in high school? That's when I was watching it. What did it change to? What do you mean?
Toonami stopped at 5:30, and so I didn't get home from wrestling until like 6. And so I missed actually a lot of Toonami, like a ton of it. So it turned into Adult Swim was after. And when it was Adult Swim, I was always like,
which was also
too much.
Okay. So
it was good, but I had to divert brain power to it. I didn't want to do that.
You did not, because you would just watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That was
you need zero brain power.
I was in. If that was on the schedule, I was in. But like once like Chicken got on there and all the other, I was like, you know what? I have to think. I don't want to.
Bro, Robot Chicken was also
Robot Chicken was brainless. It was not that it wasn't good. It was a little too good. I didn't want to chuckle. I didn't want to laugh. I wanted to chuckle. I just wanted to sit and stretch. And
I wanted to laugh,
and I needed no laughs. I didn't want to exercise an ab muscle.
No, it was Toonami plus Adult Swim. Also, want to welcome Crane Fishing. Just became a member, so welcome aboard. We appreciate you. And it looks like you are in the Snorlax crew, top tier, baby. Let's go.
Welcome, buddy.
Welcome to the show. Appreciate you, Crane. Thank you so much. Awesome. All right, let's dive in to the meat and potatoes, if you will.
That's just the reason I cried Adam Sandler's movies. I love you for this comment. That's pristine.
Wow.
Fresh Prince, that's a good one too.
Fresh Prince, and that was always on 100%. That was just constantly running.
Or CSI. CSI. Then it was CSI Miami, and then it was CSI New York for like 19 hours straight.
Law and Order, SVU.
You could depend on a crime show of that caliber being on for like 30 years running, like without pause. 1 a.m. to midnight, just going all the way around the sun every day.
Law and Order was definitely running all the time to Burley. The SVU,
baby. Had to get the SVU. Dude, that's hilarious. All right, so with that, like Jeff said,
pause. Carl Cole, welcome aboard as well to the Burley Bunch Elite. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for supporting, man. That is awesome.
Debo, we're not talking about worse shows. We're talking about after like post murdering yourself at
a MASH hating comment.
100%. We're talking about a show that you would watch after you had like wrecked yourself at practice in high school for like hours and hours and hours. And all you wanted to do was like not use your brain. You just wanted to sit, be a vegetable, and eat a lot of like noodles, Cheez-Its, drink Dr. Pepper, whatever it was for you. And for me, it was MASH. And for Jeff, it was Toonami. And I agree, but I missed Toonami because wrestling practice was like 3 hours. Like it never ended.
It was forever. But it would like when I got home, which I mean, we went to high school at the same time. Like when
Yeah.
I got home, I thought I remembered it.
South Park is
It went on for a little. And, like you said, Adult Swim would take over, and that'd be totally fine too. So, also shout outs to J.R. Schultz for finding the podcast and listening to every episode so far. That is, if that is a true comment, I don't know if he means the old podcast too,
I would
because
clap,
that's
but I'd hurt myself.
ow, ow. It was like 230 some episodes. Falls over. Appreciate you. Thanks for listening in, man. That's awesome. Yeah, Debo, South Park, another great option. All right, well, let's get into the hot topic, the hot goss, if you will, for today. So we'll get the complainy stuff out of the way early on. Basically, I said it early in the show. It's like fishing channels. They get to the winter bad for fishing channels is what the reality is. So we tend to struggle, and like Paul and I have to come up with some stuff. So last year we started doing like a lot more like vlog type videos where we would just talk about a hot topic. We do like John boat versus kayak. We would do like worth it or is it trash, and like stuff like that. And we had some fun conversations over just hot topics in like the fishing industry. So that's one thing. And then like what we've noticed is in the past, what is it, 2 months, Paul? Like in the past 2 months, our channel literally, like our views have cut in more than in half.
Poop,
Like
poop, 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 poop.
it's wild. And like our posting schedule hasn't changed. Our content has been generally the same for the entire year ever since we made the change to like no sponsors and trying to split like fishing and gear reviews and all that stuff. So I don't know what's going on. YouTube hates us. It's fine. Maybe it's just karma and a
We
cycle.
also just get bored. Like we get bored. We're like, oh, we've been doing the
Do we
same thing.
seem
Like I'm
bored
done
in
with
our
this. We
videos,
need to.
or are we just
Well,
bored and we
no.
don't want
Like
to make them?
the ADHD kicks
Yeah.
in. You know what I mean? When we're like,
Oh,
yeah, this is
100%.
droll. Like we've been doing the same thing. Like we need to take the dice, chuck them against the wall, and whatever pops up, that's what we're doing. And I think we're gonna
Well,
walk you guys through what our concept is for that next big thing for 25.
we got a couple of concepts that we want to run by you, and also like feel free in the chat right now, just like if you have ideas for the channel, wild or mild, like go ahead and just chuck them up in chat. I don't care. Like, you heard wild or mild, just throw them in there. If you say OF, get out of town. But like if you have ideas, throw them in chat. We'll totally consider
Wild,
them.
mild.
And then we've got some other ideas we want to share. Here's the thing I'll say on ADHD brain. Here's why it's such a problem for content creators. It's because you make the content, you post the content. If the content doesn't do good, you get so mad. you're like, what do I do? And because you're ADHD, you go to the YouTube analytics tab and you just
Definitely do.
dive into the numbers and you're like, okay, why is my viewership dropping off in the
A
first
lot
5
more than a
seconds of the
side
video?
quest.
No, it is a mega
You
quest.
expect it to be like one of those dumb bubblegum ball machines where you put a quarter in and you get a bubblegum ball every time. And you
I
you get
gave
one
you
of
the
9 flavor.
concept.
You're like, I put the quarter in,
Yeah.
you gave me a nickel. What the fuck? Like that's how you feel.
It's so when it doesn't pan out, super frustrating. I mean, it drives me freaking nuts, to be honest. I don't want to make, like, even if it's fun for me, like I don't enjoy putting content out there that
I don't
like
like losing.
exactly. That's almost exactly it. It's basically like you feel like you've done the work, you've put the thing up, and like we had fun making it. Don't get like we have tons of laughs while we make these videos. We have a blast, but then we post and we're like, yeah, that didn't do anything. That did terrible. And then you just feel really bad, and then you hate it. Yeah, Carl. Yeah, you gotta love the algorithms. Hate it, and
No,
the
you don't.
algorithm
I
is not
expressly I wish it was just the
loathe
algorithm because then
entirely.
that would be like consistent
Yeah,
and repeatable. What it is
right.
like so they proved and TikTok came out and say it like they mute stuff that you don't pay for. So if you don't pay for it, they mute it. If you
Or is
like
not
that's
shop linked.
yeah,
It's not
and
linked
they've
to the
said
shop.
outright you're getting muted. This type of content, this if you don't pay behind the paywall and all that other kind of stuff. And then Instagram, I'll give you an example on Instagram. I just know it's a scam because here's the thing. They'll give you a big video. You'll post a video. They don't care what it is. They just pick one and they blow it up. Then they do okay on the next 2 or 3, but they're really
Sure.
good. They're better than your average, like 10 times better than your average. Then they put you on hyper mute for like 3 or 4 weeks straight. They don't let a single video, and because if you watch every video, 350 views, they cut it. It's just
Yep.
cut and it'll never go past that 850, whatever your number is. They just cut you at that number. And it doesn't matter what you put in there, it's the same every time. You can't break
Mhm.
it. It's because they've done that on purpose. And what they're trying to do is get you to pay to pump those videos. So they're like, doesn't that feel so nice to have a bunch of views? And you're like, oh, so good. Ooh.
What
And
if
then
you
they're
paid
like,
for this
and
all
then
the
they're like,
time?
well, what if you just paid for this? And then you're like, I don't want to pay. What are you talking about, you psycho?
Get
And they
bent.
do this. They do this to
Yeah.
huge creators. I've seen people make videos on this that I know are legit, and then
Mhm.
I've experienced it time and time again where it doesn't matter how good my stuff is. It's getting muted for I'm in the mute mode, and it's just gonna be there for a month or two. But then they pull it back and they cut you loose, and you're back to normal, and you'll have some wins and losses, and it's kind of consistent and repeatable. And then you can count on it coming back in 3 months. It's just a vicious cycle, and we try not to take it personally, but it feels personal when you make
But we
something
do.
really cool, and I just can't help it. And so,
Yeah.
anyways, that's the crying and moaning part of this.
Bro.
Oh boy.
Should we
Oh god. Ew. Ew.
we
Who
cleaned
won't?
our
I mean, who wouldn't? I
rods.
like it. Yeah.
Also, congrats to Manny
Oh,
Clip. Second
bro.
grandbaby.
I'll take
Cheers.
that.
Cheers to that. That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. I love it.
Carl, OF, only frogs. Frog videos do notoriously bad
For
on
us.
YouTube, which is
Yeah.
bonkers. You would think
Wild.
like
That's
top
the
water
one I want to
blowups.
see. I
This is
know.
gonna be great. I could post a frog video. I could tell you without a doubt in my mind it will do bad.
Yeah, it's gonna poop. So yeah, anyways, that's the
Yep.
complaining, whining, moaning, and crying part of this. We're done with that. So
Oh, I'm
anyways,
gonna keep complaining forever
well, you,
though.
you continue on. So, but what we like our thing, like we like watching the evolution of the channel, and it's really worked out well for us. The no sponsor thing, I think
Mhm.
we're both really happy with how that turned out, and to some degree, we're gonna keep that going. We really like the rebrand where we went with AAA. That was huge for us away from Burley. The new podcast formats have been really good. Like all the stuff that we've been doing really has been working well for us, and we're really happy with it. But it's time to do the next thing. So Jeff and I wanted to talk to you about two things. Which one do you want to go with first, Jeff? Do you want to hit I think the rating one's probably where we should
Well,
start.
I want to clarify
Oh,
something
sorry. Okay.
first. So, one thing that I do want to say is like, as much as we're a fishing channel, the reality is that we're just based in the fishing industry, and we can ask anybody on our channel. I saw a bunch of chat comments earlier that are like, "Hey, we really love the gear reviews." Like anybody in the industry that we talk to at iCast, they know us from gear reviews, not from fishing videos.
Those are the ones that have always done well for us.
Yeah, exactly. And then like we can tell you through historically on the channel, gear reviews do about 5 times better than fishing videos. And
Not
like
on average.
not on average.
On
Like
on the line.
video for video, they do 5 times better, which is, just something that we have to recognize from the analytical standpoint. And that said, like fishing is fun. Like that's why we do the gear reviews,
Well,
because
and
we
that's how
want to
you
go
get the
fish
that's
with
how
the
you get the
thing.
review. You have to use it.
So standalone fishing videos just tank, absolutely tank. There's no way for us to do them well unless Paul, we do some nonsense stuff with it, where we do like a roulette wheel challenge, or we do drunk goggles, or we
Those never
do
do good either. I mean, it's
no, for us, because it's not what
yeah.
our channel is, right? So if we had built our channel around like 1v1s and dollar fishing challenges and cheap versus expensive Walmart challenges, and I'll let my wife buy my lures challenges, like we've tried those from time to time. It's just not worth it. It's just not us. So I just wanted to be clear up front, like that's not what we're gonna do. For one,
Period.
we're
I'm
not gonna
interested
do
in
that ever. You won't get cops called Karen videos on our channel either.
Unless it happens.
Unless it literally happens. But
I'm not going to engineer that video or that situation.
nope, we're not putting ourselves into that situation. If it ever does which it hasn't happened yet, but like if it ever does, sure, we'll record it and then we'll post it. But no, we're not trying to put ourselves in that position. And then just fishing videos in general, like part of the problem is we'll head out to the water and we'll say, hey, we want to make a YouTube video. And we'll have some ideas of what we want to do, or seasonally, it's like it's fall now. I want to catch on a jerk bait. Unfortunately, like we are not the best go to learn how to jerk bait fish channel. Like I could point you in the direction of 15 other channels who are just savants at the jerk
Benjamin
bait.
Nowak,
Like,
I would send you there.
exactly. Finesse gear, like I'm sending you Ben. Big smallmouth, I'm sending you Ben. Like, yeah, I'd rather send you to those channels where they are going to be better
That's
at
their bread and butter.
the
That's how
teaching
they have
side of
grown
things.
their channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. So that's not going to be us. And even if we did it, it would tank on our channel.
It'd
So
be boring as fart.
with that in mind, the way that fishing is going to be included on our channel, I think going forward, it's going to be tied into like the gear reviews and unboxings. We did it recently and it did okay. Actually, it did better than I thought it would. So we did like a tailgate unboxing. The funniest part about that, by the way, was that we parked by the no parking sign. We got nonstop comments. This is on a private lake. Nobody goes to that ramp but me on this in this entire subdivision. Like
They already live there.
They already live there and they all have docks. So like I'm one of the only people that uses this ramp. So we weren't blocking people, I promise. But we did that. We unboxed and Paul cut in or edited in like fishing some of the lures that we unboxed, which I thought was really fun to do. It was a cool, different way for us to present the content. So if you liked that, like that's kind of my idea of like instead of just straight up an unboxing, it's like unboxing it and then go fishing it or using it seasonally appropriate, of course. Like, so if it's winter, I can't do that. If there's ice on the water, when we worked for Monster Bass back in the day, we had to film summer content in winter because they wanted it on the schedule. And
100 years in advance.
Yeah, it was not realistic. So we're not going to do that. But like if it's fishing season, yeah, I think we could incorporate that a lot more, and that would be.
And I think you guys understand that when we do a gear review, it's legit. I'll give you my first impressions when I get it, but I'm gonna tell you that it's my first.
I love this idea,
and not. Yeah, I know, me too.
That's so
not.
Good.
Yeah, it's not actually.
Yep.
Like I recognize that I haven't put the time into it yet, and
first impression is not final impression.
But we are going to use it, and I won't give you a review until I use it. I feel to a degree where I really know what it's all about, whatever it is, whether it's a hat, a lure, a rod, a reel, a kayak, or Jeff's t-shirt.
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
Exactly.
I was just reading this comment. Who are you talking to? Vicious Tuna, longtime lurker, just became a sub. Thanks for subscribing, man. Really appreciate you there. Looking to dive into BFS recommendation for BFS reel I can buy in the US. There are so many right now. Arc BFS. There you go. That's my recommendation. The Arc.
If you need one under 100, I will say it's really hard to get away from the Casking Zephyr. It is pretty darn solid for under $100. If you want, I mean, that's the, but the Arc is the one. It's the one.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if you want it specifically from like a US store, like that's the way to go. But there are plenty of other great places that you can go. Jim F, I've never tried Digitaka. Maybe one video we do, Paul, is hang on. Maybe one video we do is we just order from Digitaka just to
but then I got to buy it with my Bitcoin account. I can't use cash because
I don't know if that's true, but okay.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel comfortable putting my financial information on a lot of those sites. Even
all right, I'll put mine. I'll put our business on the line. I'll put
our business on the line. You psycho.
Listen, aggressively
I'll put my house
anglers
into it if
LLC. I gotta. So you took out. Everybody has a second mortgage these days. Was that Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Everybody's got a second mortgage these days.
In this economy,
you're gonna love it. And this economy, yeah. But the Arc BFS, just to go back to that, is like a really great option. There's other great options out there. And Vicious Tuna, thanks for subscribing. All right. So yeah. So again, we're not gonna. It's not that we're not going to fish on this channel. We are. We absolutely are going to fish. We're just not the channel that's going to put out like a 5
fishing video
ways to drop shot. Like it's not going to happen.
I fished this crazy clear water.
Yeah. And like, here's the other thing about that, to be clear, when you live in the North, you have the challenge of competing against giant bass that you don't have. They're not here. We don't have them. You're going to see 5-pounders pretty much at maximum on this channel. If you see a 6, we freaking crushed it, dude. But you're not going to see 10-pounders on this channel. And like, unfortunately, that is a thing that really helps fishing channels around, big fish. Like if they have a farm pond, if they're down in Texas, if they're in the Delta, if they're in Florida, like they're going to win based on big fish. They'll go out with the swim bait. They'll catch giants like, hey, you did it. Good job. We can't do that here, unfortunately. I wish we could. That'd be freaking awesome. Like, we're gonna have to take trips to do that. So the other thing is, you basically see a bunch of dinks on our channel, and like, as much as we love you guys and you might love that content, the rest of the internet doesn't give a hoot. So like, part of why we do what we do is we want to
They don't even give a
obviously
toot.
they don't even give it to, but like, we want to grow the channel, we want to expand, we want to do more things, more cool things. I want to unlock doors and stuff. And I just can't do that if I try to make a fishing specific channel happen. So, anyways, getting that out of the way. So the way we'll work around that, we'll add fishing into our gear reviews, into our unboxing. So it won't be like during the fishing season, it won't just be like a straight look at this bait, look at this box, look at this, blah, blah, blah. It'll be like, look at this, and here's me fishing it. So you can get first impressions plus like second impressions plus fish catches, which I think is better. It means that we can't legitimately say like, first impression, this is an amazing lure. Now we have to go fish it, and we can be like, oh, at first I thought this was an amazing lure. Turns out I was wrong. It's just decent, you know? So I think it adds some legitimacy to the unboxings and reviews. And that'll be cool too. And hopefully you guys like that. All right. So DeBurley's out here just dropping idea bombs all over the place, like left and right. So 2 ideas, and Mitch Dave, thanks for popping this back up because it's back up in chat there a little ways. So DeBurley had said, yo, Mystery Science Theater 3000, which I also loved watching that show for Mindless Television. That was fantastic. So we watch we actually, I think I joked about this with you a while back. I was like, what if we just watched other, like, critiqued other videos?
Yeah.
And like, you're gonna burn some people, and I was like, I don't really want to, unless it was like agreed upon in advance. Like, if we got Debo to agree, and we're like, all right, Debo, we're gonna watch one of your videos as a video, and we're gonna critique it. But it's like for funsies as friends versus you potentially trashing somebody or getting trashed. I think it could be fun.
It would be fun. That is not in question.
Yeah, maybe it's a lot. Maybe we members only live that. We could just like share screen and do it.
Good.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be like Trump at his rally where he just plays music for 30 minutes and just goes like,
bro, I'm gonna play fishing videos for 30 minutes and I'm gonna do the dance.
Like I said.
All right, so that is, I love the idea though. And then followers sending in shorts or reels. I'd be interested to hear more about that. I like that. Bass and Brews in the room, by the way, too. What's up, guys? How you guys doing? The podcast takeover. Talk about Bigfoot. All right, so the channel turns into like ancient apocalypse, and we just start talking about interdimensional beasts. Yo, how many content creators have you guys seen out there that take that like super hard left turn though? Like, everything's going fine, and then all of a sudden they joined a cult, or they're chasing Bigfoot. Like I said, it happens a lot. We could be that for you. I'm kidding. We're not doing that.
No, we can't. I don't even know how to do that.
I don't want to do that. That's funny. The whole foot family. All right. So one thing that we do want to do more often on the channel that we only started doing this year, which is just wild to me to even consider that it took this long to do that, is more budget reviews. So we definitely want to do more like Paul put it so eloquently on our sheet, cheap shit. We want to review cheap sheet and cheap like budget realm though, right? So it's budget reels, budget rods, a lot of, there's plenty of lures out there like we never get to unbox, because what's the go-to for unboxing? You go to JDM, you get like the $30 I just bought,
it's the same thing.
I just bought that popper that Tackle Talk told us to buy, the Rico. So yeah. I did get one of those for $23 for a popper.
Oh, weird. You only got one. How about that?
I did only get one. Suck it, loser. I got you some ZWGs. What do you want? I also got a Mega.
You also got those. Yeah. Okay.
For you, I got you some ZWGs. Don't worry. I didn't get you any cool baits, but I did get you ZWGs.
You got ZWGs as well, though.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But only
you were too busy having one. You were too busy having one arm. I couldn't help you at the time. All right. Feather Outdoors. Thank you so much for the super chat here for
Oh,
10
dang,
bucks.
son. You don't have to do
Enjoy a
that.
dad pop or 2 or 3 on me, fellas. Gear reviews help me to determine a lot of what I buy. Thanks.
It
Awesome.
means a heck of a lot.
It really does, because that's kind of where I was talking to
That's a
Paul
good
when
transition.
yeah, I was talking to Paul this weekend. We were and he was thinking the same thing. So we separately had a mind meld, and we were thinking the same thing. You know what? We kind of need to go all in on gear reviews, not lose fishing. Like I said, we're going to incorporate fishing clips and catches and stuff into those videos. We're not pro anglers though. Like, we know that, we recognize that. It's the name of the friggin' channel, the aggressively average anglers. What we do pretty well, or better that we feel than a lot of other channels out there, is that we make a point to try literally everything, not just stuff we're sponsored by. We are going to be brutally honest with everything and with you, because we're not sponsored. And we're kind of gear nerds ourselves. Like, that's my favorite thing in fishing, other than a heavy hook set on a frogfish that's hopefully over 5 pounds that I'm never catching in Michigan, is getting new gear. Like, just getting new gear. I'm an absolute nut about it. Paul's the same way. It's like, I just want to try new things, test out new tech, anything that's new to the market, grab that. And now, keeping in mind that we also want to test out budget products as well, not just limit ourselves to like, oh, we only want the newest, coolest thing. Like, I definitely want to try more budget things as well on the channel, and do reviews on them. And like, it doesn't even have to be brand new. Like, another thing that we could do is just go back. Well, one, we got to do our year in the review, Paul, right? So we got to go over stuff we got this year, tried this year, give our long-term review on it versus just a first look, first day on the water. Like, what about 40 days on the water with the native Titan X? I can give you a full review on that thing because I got some thoughts on it. So we could do that, more of these long-term reviews as well. Do the budget reviews, and then, maybe just pick out top 5 selling jerk baits and like give a legitimate review on each of those as well. And if there are any ideas that you guys have for this, like, because we kind of know we want to do more of the gear review stuff, and kind of be seen in that way in the industry. If there's any gear that we haven't reviewed, or we haven't reviewed in a while, or that you want an update on, or anything like that, like, just let us know. Just, you can always DM us, is probably the easiest way, on Instagram, AA Anglers on Instagram. Shoot us DM, let us know what you want reviewed. We can definitely do that. Flipping Kicks brought it out there right there. Need that Titan X review. Debating on saving for the 12.5. 12.5. Oh, yeah, because there's 2 Titan X's. 12 point. If you're gonna get the Titan X, you get the 12.5. It's the same. I would tell people with the Hobie Pro anglers, like the 12 or the 14. The 14. You just get the 14. Like, it is noticeably so much more room, and it's so much more spacious. And there's it's a little bit more stable in the case of the Titan X, but like, it's just worth it. Just give yourself the room. What do we talk about? Get your living room on the water and like paddle that sucker around.
I will say this about a shorter kayak though. But I agree with Jeff in that specific kayak.
In this
And that's
specific
because
kayak,
you're not getting the
yes.
benefit of a small kayak really when you go shorter, because
Nope.
it's just heavy and wide. So, but
It really is.
you just really need to think about it
Yep.
carefully. And after doing this for 5 years or whatever, and just really testing a lot of different kayaks, and owning a lot of different types of models,
Hmm.
I can really speak to the value of a smaller, lighter kayak. So
Yep.
if you're already getting that one, I agree with Jeff. I totally, I hear you. But just really think about that, about the benefits of having a much smaller, lighter kayak, because there are quite a few.
The good example would be the PDL 106 versus the 120. You just saw Ethan went down from his 120 to Paul's 106 that he bought off of Paul.
Because it's car topping.
Because he's car topping, right? And like, Paul really enjoyed having his 106. He also
Love it.
has the new Canoe U10, which I
Love it.
want. Like, I want the U10. I love my unlimited, and will still use it even if I get a U10, even when I get a U10, because I'm probably just going to get one next year. Let's be real.
And I want a 12, to be clear.
Exactly. So it's like, it'll just serve those different purposes, but it is something to consider. And yeah, we're going to do a long-term review of the Titan X, kind of wrapped up into reviewing a bunch of kayaks, just because doing one at a time doesn't make sense on YouTube. YouTube doesn't love that. All right, Tyler Duncan, member for 12 months with us. Appreciate you, fella.
Son,
Thank you so much. You guys appeal to the average person even when you review Gucci gear. I know the
that's really
Gucci.
funny. Actually, I
I
like
like
that.
Gucci gear better than Bougie gear. Actually,
It
I
was
think we.
way better.
Thank you, Tyler, stealing that.
Well, yeah, we're
Gucci gear.
stealing pride.
It's from a blue collar point of view. Only a couple of channels do it. Remain unbiased and do it well. You guys are one of them. Man, thank you so much. I can't tell you how good that feels to hear. Like just in like months like this where we're tanking. Like the channel. I'm like, are you okay? I'm resuscitating the
We're
channel in the background. Like
you
hearing something like that, that really helps
expressly
a
not
lot. So
okay.
yeah. Aggressively not okay. Aggressively not okay, anglers. Seriously, Tyler, thank you so much. Really appreciate the kind words there. Where we were talking about the gear reviews. I want to share with you guys a rating system that we already tried out in a video. Think of it this way: we would love to have a consistent rating system that helps it be more unbiased, and also at the same time helps explain why we feel a product is good, mid, or bad. Like somewhere in
Well,
between.
how we it's I would say that I'm gonna clarify here real quick.
Sure.
It does get our feelings on it across, but the rating itself, just
Hmm.
purely the rating, the video will give what Jeff's talking about, but purely the rating, what we're expressing is when you
Want to
take
post it?
everything into
Yeah.
account, these we're gonna walk you through how this happens, but when you take all of these areas into account, the way we're rating it, it's supposed to talk to you about what's really the value, what's the value proposition, and how does it all add up when you take it all into account. So like that's why we kind of wanted to walk through it because there's a lot of detail and there's a lot of like express intent with the way that we did this. It was very specific the way that we did it, and it's all trying to
Hmm.
get at value. We want to speak to our perception of how well they're executing on their value proposition all by itself, not compared to other things. In the rating, it's just that one thing. The rating is really expressly just for that one thing. And then that way, well, so here's the idea. The idea is we're gonna create a rating system. We'll walk you through it. We kind of already did it. Then we're going to use this rating system on each thing individually. So for example, we did a bunch of motors and motor setups, and it'll be like, okay, I'm not thinking about is this better or worse than the Newport. I'm thinking about here's what Bixby was trying to do. They're trying to make something that is quick, light, relatively expensive, and can move from kayak to kayak. Okay, get it. Let's rate it on its own merits, not comparing it to anything else, and give it out of a total score. Here's the total score. Here's how well they executed against that plan. That way, you can then go look at the Newport and see how well they execute against their plan. And you pick the one that's right for you,
Hmm.
knowing our opinion on just that specific thing. Then maybe someone's like, "Oh, they look like they look like aggressively average anglers. They are reviewing a lot of things. Maybe they looked at the Savage Gear Tough Toad. Google the Savage Gear
Hmm.
Tough Toad in our website potentially where we house all of these different ratings with the scores. And then you
Hmm.
see, oh, well, they gave that like a 25 out of 25. That's the highest rating you could get. They really loved that one. Okay. Now I can maybe even link on that website the full length YouTube video where we did the rating. And now you
Yeah.
can go and say, "Oh, damn, they I got the full view. I got to see some how it works and all that. Okay, this is for me. I'm in." And then, maybe in that YouTube video they're seeing, "Oh, they compared that to like I don't know, the Z-Man, frogs, right? The toads. And then you go and you can look at that
Yeah.
review, et cetera, et cetera. And so this is like a repository for all of our ratings on things that you guys seem like you care about and want to
A
see more things about.
repository.
And then this is something that can last for like 20 years. This is something that we can keep adding to. You can call out and be like, oh, rate the Temu
Yeah.
popper. Okay, I'll rate the Temu popper. Pop it in for you. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. So
So
that's
so
that's
ultimately,
the
like,
concept.
it would be really cool to have eventually, maybe after 10 years, a rating system that like is our rating system that we've applied to everything. And I think it could be a lot more valuable than when you go on Tackle Warehouse and like there's always people who, for whatever reason, they're so just crappy on their reviews where they'll just be like 2 stars, broke when I looked at it. And you're like, okay, can you explain? Like, can you go into further detail? Could you describe this for me? So how much can we really trust like reviews on websites, depending on if somebody's like brand loyal, not
Or
sponsored,
they haven't tested 15 different ones, they only tested that
their
one?
first reel ever, or their first
Exactly.
step down after using like a crazy digital
Mhm.
reel or something?
Or
Who
they've never
knows?
kayak fished and they're doing a review on the only kayak they've ever used.
So you would have one site with every product like consistently rated by, by these
In
two
the
dweebs,
same way, in the
but in the
exact
same
same way,
way.
using the
Yep.
same rating system that you already know.
Yeah. So I mean, to me, if I'm looking around for something, I find that pretty valuable because obviously it can be hard to find unbiased reviews on anything, or to know if the person's getting paid by, an affiliate market share deal or whatever, or if they're a sponsored person or what, right? Or if they're just super brand loyal for some reason. They're like Shimano or die, like, which there's a lot
Yeah,
of those too.
and I mean, and I think we have to though, when this happens, we have to be the ones that
this
are what?
this is why right here. When you go to Amazon and you see the 1 star and it's like arrived 3 days late, and you're like, okay, but how was the product, bro? What are we
And yeah,
talking about?
no, and who you talking to?
Who
And then,
the
and I get, it, but that even puts more pressure on us to be more objective and call things out that we don't like and be really specific about
Yeah, we got
them.
to nail this
And
down.
and it also means that this rating system has to, this is the crazy part for us. It has to work for everything from, okay,
Zero
it's
score.
getting a low rating. I'm not gonna lie.
Aesthetics two.
It's gonna be low. So, but after we were talking about this, we realized like, okay, now that I'm thinking about this, or that we were really getting down to like, how are we
Mhm.
gonna do this? Let's walk through the. We picked 5 categories. We try to keep this really simple too. I didn't want this to be like a 50-point rating where we got decimals and we have like it can't be complex. It's got to be something
So
easily digestible and simple.
100%. And on that note, we've done a complex review. So if you go to the Bixby review video that I did, I had 10 categories of ratings, and in each of them was scored 1 to 10. So it was out of 100 points because I thought that made sense. It was way too much complexity to go through and rate everything in that way. So, like Paul's saying, we want to come with a simplified system. We have a rough draft to share with you today that we have already put into a video on kayak motors. Specifically reviewed the NK 180 Pro, which is Newport, and the Newport NK300, the Bixby K1, and the Motor Guide XI3. Which, by the way, all the rumors have been confirmed. Motor Guide's dead now. So Lawrence is taking over all of Motor Guide stuff going forward. So there will
Oh,
not,
do I need to buy that one then?
if you want to get an XI3, it's going to be on sale till they're gone. So I guess grab one.
But does that mean I need to go get the new one?
If you want, if you want a bow mount, the only option right now is the XI3. So I mean,
Yeah.
you just get it. What I'm saying is, in the future, the XI3 won't exist. So we just did
Yeah.
a review on it, and it's going to die. But that's fine.
Yeah.
There will be other ones to take its place at some point, hopefully.
Oh, I thought you were saying that. Never mind.
What
I was confused with what you're
It's
saying. I
going to
thought
be
you
a
meant
good time to buy your bow mount. That's
yes.
what I'm saying. You
Well,
can get it
I
on
want
sale.
one. I'm not gonna lie. I really want one. Like honestly, you'll see
You
it in
should
the
get
video,
one.
but I really want to because I'll be honest with you guys,
They're awesome.
they're really cool. Like I I appreciate what a stern mount motor can do. I really do. I like it a
Mhm.
lot, and it's really fun and it works well. For the fishing that we do, it's not as good. You don't need the little bit of extra speed. You really don't.
Not
The bow
really.
mount is bringing more value, I think. I do love the NK180. It's sick. It is really sick. If you're like a hardcore angler, I think you need the NK180, like hardcore kayak angler. I actually think the 180 or the 300 is the way to go for you. Uh,
300,
it's
baby.
sick. They're so sick.
I
But
say
but
both.
the average guy is going to be, I think, happier overall with the bow mount.
Yep. The warranty is extended to Lawrence. Ryan, thanks for sharing that. Yep. I saw that in the letter. I mean, we could, if it was a hot topic on our channel, we would talk about this more, but it's just not. But anyways, you got yours for 1,200 with tax. It's only going to get, it's that it'll get down to maybe even $1,000 by the time we get to the tail end of it. But Yeah. Well, anyways, Feather Outdoors, member for 18 months. Appreciate you, fella. One more thing
There
after
he is.
meeting up with Paul, which he did. He bought Paul's light tackle too, came out to the house, bought it, all that stuff, picked it up for
Yep,
himself. I can confirm these guys are real as it gets and helpful as they can be. Trust them. Appreciate you, man. Love the kind words. Thank you so much.
I agree.
Awesome. So let's share with you guys the rating system that we're thinking about. And you let us know if it's the stupidest thing you ever heard, or if you have any suggestions for it for real. Again, we wanted to keep it simple. So there's 5 categories. Each category would be scored a 0 to a 5. And we tried to think of like, imagine that you're reviewing a lure and then a kayak. Like we wanted the categories to apply universally. And then like, let's say we do a website at some point, which we probably will, and then we have these ratings on there and all that stuff, then you would see the 0 to 5 score that in each of these categories that each product has received. So pretty straightforward. And then Paul, like I'll call the name out. You describe like what we think of it. So the first category is aesthetics.
Yeah. So aesthetics. Now, the reason we have aesthetics because here's what I struggle with this one. I almost
Mhm.
kind of wanted it to be like design versus aesthetics. So still
I
kind
said
of on the
fit and
fence.
finish,
Fit and
looks,
finish is
like
it's all the same thing, but
yeah,
what I liked about design is that it's a little more broad, so it's applicable to other things. But we
sure.
hit that a little bit later in another category. Here's the
Mhm.
thing with aesthetics. It's supposed to mean not only how the thing looks, but also how it like these like for example, with like the what do you call it? The bow mount we were
XI3.
talking about, the
Yep,
XI3.
the XI3.
It's huge. It's really big on a kayak. So that
The
falls into
aesthetics
the
are low.
aesthetics. Like they're a little
Yeah,
bit lower. It's just and that's not necessarily that's more of an objective thing than a subjective thing. But when it comes to like
yeah,
baits or when it comes to like a cooler, right? If you're looking at a cooler and you're like, man, that thing is friggin' gigantic, or like that's just ugly. It doesn't look right. Like, or
yeah,
it's weird. It's just funky looking. Like, and you know that a lot of people are gonna think that. That's where that's gonna live. So what I'm really trying to do is I don't want this to be very subjective. We're trying to avoid that because what I don't want to do is I don't want the NK300 to lose to the NK180 Pro because I don't like the way it looks. That's just
yeah,
silly, right? I don't want that happening. So we
yeah.
wanted to avoid that. This one's a little tricky, but we needed something for like fake design. Like, oh, the colors are phenomenal. Like that falls into aesthetics. Like the
Mhm.
size of the hooks or something like that. Like that may fall into aesthetics, right? Packaging, it's a big deal. That might fall into the aesthetics. And so we wanted it needs its own category, so that's why that one's there.
Yep. So yeah, aesthetics is obviously really important for anything you're looking at. And now, and of course, it's not the only category. It's one of 5, right? So it, like Paul said, it can't like outweigh all the other categories. So I could have a lure that looked like trash but performed amazing, like across the board, and it can still do really well. And I think that potentially I was telling Paul this at the beginning of the show, like we still get dusted on the Timu videos because people were just like, look, they're cheap, they catch fish, why are you so mad about it? And mainly they don't understand because I'm mad because these are just like low quality complete copy ripoffs of brands who are working harder than them, and I'm just like, this sucks. And Timu has terrible labor policies. That's why I hate them for many other reasons. But I kind of ragged on the lures super hard, and I think
Well,
if we
hold
had,
on.
yeah,
Oh, I'm really sorry. I just saw this in my brain, like, and the latest comment.
there goes
It
the
just got
ADHD.
me instantly.
No,
It did.
no, go
Side
ahead.
quested. So the angry
I'm
angler. He
done.
goes, packaging question mark. Seriously. Look, I get you. I get you. I get you. Let me give you an example of why this matters. I have it
Okay.
right behind me. Let me show you why
Mhm.
this matters. It's not what you think it is.
Well, he's the angry angler. He's angry.
He's allowed to be angry, but
You're
just
no,
hear me
no.
out. You got to
That's
be
his
the listening.
personality.
You need to be the listening angler too.
Yeah.
All right. All
Uh,
right. You're a kayak angler, right? You're a bank angler. You're
mhm.
a small boat angler. You're just a guy who doesn't want to carry a whole bunch of crap with you. You bought some swim baits. They
You
come
get
in
a
this. You're gonna
giant
be. This is
clamshell.
stupid. This is a huge clamshell. It's a huge waste
He's
of
never
packaging.
angry.
He's never actually angry. I love
You
it.
don't want
So
you don't want to
this
see him
this
when he's
is this is
angry.
supposed to look good on a shelf. This has nothing to do with how you fish. Okay.
Mhm.
Now contrast that with this is the Z-Man Gobius. When you open this up, it is a very small. The whole package is about the same size and footprint of the bait. Now these
Yep.
baits, when they touch other baits, they melt other baits. So they need they need their own packaging so they don't touch anything else. They gave this to you. It's a reusable package. It's a small clamshell, very small profile, and it can be opened and resealed just the way it is. And
Mhm.
then when it dies and you get rid of it, you can recycle it. This is a 10 out of a 10. This is a 2 out of 10. And that's
Yep.
what I mean by packaging, right? Like when I look at mule fishing, their baits come in like these little small trays. What's the other one? Not evolution.
Euro tackle.
Uh,
Come in little
Euro
trays.
tackle. They come in these mini micro little trays, protects it,
Mhm.
but also as a micro angler, you
It's
have
tiny.
you could have
Yep.
all your baits in a little pouch, and I can keep 4 or 5 of them in there. They're separate, they're
Mhm.
safe, but they're also self-contained. This matters. It matters to
Yep.
me, and I want to call it out when it does matter. So that's why I mentioned packaging. That's all. It's just I think it's something I'm obviously weirdly passionate about.
Overlarge packaging is a pain. Exactly. It's one of the
Well, and
number
you
one
can't
things
fit
we
as many baits
complain
in your
about.
kayak. Like
Yeah.
you can fill.
Yep.
Where's my? If this is the only thing you're bringing on your kayak, you could fill this up
Mhm.
in 4 seconds with 5 swim baits if you wanted to, or 30,000 little guys. It matters.
Rad. Also, Limping Fisherman says fit and finish. Do we go back on it?
It's
Does
not fit and
fit
finish only though. That's the thing. So like, look at the motor guide. So
what
with the
does
motor
fit and
guide,
finish mean to you though?
fit and finish is like the quality. So I'm thinking of like a watch. Like how quality is like the fit and finish. Like is it
Mhm.
like, oh, this is like cheesy plastic,
I
like it
I
has a
think
coating that I don't like it's very specific. I need something broad.
I think finish is the aesthetic appeal to it, and the fit, you could put packaging into that. You could
Maybe,
put how it
maybe.
how it combines with the kayak, the
I'm mo
XI3
I'm
added to
more
a
thinking
kayak.
about the marketing of it, like, when someone reads it, what
Sure.
they think, I think is a little more limited, that's why we went with but I hear you, I do,
Tell you
I
what,
do.
you guys got a better term than aesthetics for what we've just
I'm happy
described.
to
Let
yeah,
us
and
know.
that's why I almost wanted it to be design. I like design, like, I kinda want design to be
Right.
somewhere in there, I'm still really into that one.
Oh, that wasn't the comment. Ramon Outdoor says
If you're a softcore angler, you need one ugly stick, and you're good. Go get the President XT, actually, if you're a softcore angler.
he said earlier, I couldn't find it. The challenge with design. Here it is. Design can be tricky because it could be visual design or functional design or whatever.
That's what I like about it. That's what I
Yeah.
love about it, because
Okay.
then I can speak to both, and then when it's a bait, I can speak to that piece of it. When it's a
I
cooler, I
kind of
can
like
speak
it.
to that. Shoes, I can speak to that. That it's it all and then when I hit aesthetics, that also falls under design. So I like the
Hmm.
ones that are a little more broad.
Yep. That's fair. Um, so I don't know if you guys got a better term than design or aesthetics, or let's do this. Chaz, let's do a vote. We'll put it up. Design versus aesthetics for the first category. We're gonna vote on it, and then we'll see what you guys think. We'll go from there. All right. So while Chaz do that, once that's done, we'll just move to the next category here. Wouldn't functionality
Yeah.
fall under its own category? Functionality.
We have that.
Performance.
Let's get through
Performance
the
is a
no, we've got
category.
that. We've got it. So
Yep.
the next one is innovation. So the next
Mhm.
one's innovation. So this kind of speaks to like is it the same as everything else or is it super, super different? So, new canoe, right? At first glance, when you see a new canoe, you might be like, it's a kayak, my
It's a
dude, and it
kayak
doesn't have
with
anything on it. That's silly. So then
yep,
when you've used it, when you beat it up, when you try to
the
design it, when you really beat the crap
ecosystem.
out of it, yeah,
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're like, whoa, this actually is really different. And this
Yep.
is really very and it kind of when we're talking about value, this is all designed to express like the value of it, right?
Got him.
Oh, yeah, hammered him. Love you, buddy. Uh, so well, maybe he just missed it. He might have
It's
been
just
going
missing an
caps
A.
lock. Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
maybe he went for the
Yeah.
yeah. So when you hit the innovation, what you're really hitting is like how unique is this thing? Like, so
Yep.
if it's a boot, like the deck boots, there's like a bunch of deck boots. Don't buy the $90 one if you could buy the $10 one because it's the same thing, right?
Or if it's a
Don't
copy
buy
bait,
yeah,
like
exactly.
it's
Like
the
it's
final
not
copy,
there's
zero
nothing unique
innovation.
there. You don't
Yeah.
need this. So when something's $150, you're like, why in
Mhm.
God's name? But on the innovation score, it's super high. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, I see where the value's
Yeah.
coming in because I'm getting something that no one else has. I'm getting something that's hyper unique and hyper new. And this is really
Something
the
I've
only
been
place to
waiting
get it
for.
in this case. So that we thought, again, the whole concept here is I'm trying to express the value proposition. So what are they bringing to the table, and is it worth the price?
Yeah. And I like this a lot because I think that it applies to everything. Like I just mentioned, baits, like you get the copy baits, they're going to score a 0 in innovation because they've been copied. A lot of kayaks, actually, the
Tonnage.
fire tiger autopilot, like cool. You changed the color, but you didn't do anything else for me. You sent me 5 Rapala baits, I think. Like innovation 1.
Oh yeah. No, yeah.
So that's just like an example. But anyway, so innovation I think is cool. And then you get something like the new canoe
Anything from Teckle. Like,
tackle. Yeah, the tackle clinker frog, like bro, 10 out of 10. I mean 5, because there's only 5.
I don't even know what it is. That's how unique it is.
Right. All right. So this is interesting. Design is kicking aesthetics butt.
I like it.
44 votes. It's 75% of the votes are on
Good.
design. So it sounds
Me too.
like we're changing category 1 to design. See, this is why we got to go to the brain trust here, folks. We got to talk to you about this. You'll set us straight. Like awesome.
Beta.
The beta. we got to get to alpha test. All right. So the design test check.
That's not what alpha test comes later.
Alpha test. Design. Innovation is category 2. Again, these are all scored out of 5, 0 to 5. Performance would be the next one that we want to look into. So performance, Paul.
And this is a no-brainer. How good does it do what it says it's going to do, right? So you're a kayak. How good are you kayaking? And I think Ramon put it in there. He's like, how good is this pizzaing? It's like you want it to be X. How good is it doing that thing? So NK180 Pro, how efficient is it? How good is it at getting where you want it to be? Not necessarily, is it better than something else? Is it doing something that it's not supposed to be doing? I don't care about that. It's you wanted to buy a kayak motor, a stern mount motor that's going to get you where you want to go. And then it's supposed to be lighter, quieter, faster, et cetera, et cetera. Is it doing all that stuff? How good is it doing that stuff? And how, that's it. Because we hit, and this is also where durability comes in. So over the long haul, right? Because we want a durability to be, it's super important. When it comes to something for the dollar, it's got to go the distance. And so if you're not durable, you perform well. Like if you're a BMW, like it needs maintenance all the time, but when it's good, it works really good. Your score is going to be mid. When you are a Toyota Tundra, it costs you 90 grand, but it'll last your whole life. Your score might be a little bit higher, but it's still not going to be the best. When it lasts 300,000 years and it doesn't cost very much, all of a sudden you're like, okay, that's what I'm looking for. So this is how long does it last? How well does it perform? That sort of thing.
Yeah, if it's a dark sleeper and it dies after 1 fish, it's going to score lower.
It performed well, but it had no durability, so you're going to get mid.
Yep. So that ease of use,
he was saying like, how good does the BSE skip performance-wise? That's a 5. And if there was a 6, I'd give it a 6. Yeah, 100%. The BSE is unbelievable. That clip of, I hate to say me, because like, look at me. The first time I used it, my very first skip, it looked like I was a professional rock skipper in the Olympics of rock skipping, and I went dock to dock. It was unreal.
After picking up your first rock, like that's what it felt like.
Look at this rock! Because my gosh,
I never skipped. The first time I really seriously was skipping was when we had that day under the pontoons with the Tanuki, the Yamanuki. We had to. The only way we were catching fish.
If you didn't hear a bing after getting all the way under a boat, you were not catching a fish.
And that's what I'm talking about. We're not going to have a Karen video. Like I'll knock on wood, but I feel like I've dinged so many pontoons, and the person, I've done it while they're in it, and I'm just like, I'm sorry. And they're like, it's okay. And I'm like, cool.
Elliot Cutright. Check that one. I like this.
I love skipping my donkey tail. How about that? I like it. I need a reviewer's tilt. Paul, stop. I need a reviewer's tilt that you can add to stuff like the BSE when it's actually special, not just great.
Like a whole extra category that's outside of the 25.
We could average. Wait, reviewers tilt being. I was thinking of 2 things. So hang on.
It's like
hang on. It's a boost. So there would be a 6 category. It would be like us just giving it a 0 to 5. right? But hang on. So
I
my other
got you.
thought
I got
was like, if we make a website out of this, like if viewers could then say, well, actually, I
That's
think
now I have two.
not reviewers, but
I
viewers,
know.
just
So th
people.
maybe even
Yeah.
just members.
Maybe just members. Like if you
Yeah,
guys could add
yeah,
a swing
yeah,
score and you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
listen, I appreciate that you guys have opinions, comma spaceman, but my opinion, comma spaceman, is that it should be a little better than this, you know? And like you could up the score a little bit.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing, because
So I was thinking
in
there's two ways,
my
but
opinion, I don't want to have the swing score. I love the idea, but we need to maintain the
yeah.
objectivity, because
Oh,
when
for
someone
us
because
having
there's a
one,
couple
yeah.
things you guys got to think about. Someone's sending me this, so I'm automatically there's going to be some sort of bias potentially, at least a perceived bias, even if there's not one. Two, I'm not you, you're not me, so that's why the aesthetics are a problem. If I'm grading it on how I think it looks and it beats some other thing by 2 points, and all of a sudden everyone's buying that thing because I think blue is cooler than green, it's like, dude, that's stupid. That's silly. Like, I used to read Motor Trend magazine religiously
Yeah.
when I was a kid. I love cars.
Well, that's what I was
I
picturing is like those ratings.
love cars. And when
CNET,
someone was
Tech
like,
Radar.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. And when someone went in and was like, oh, the Porsche, Boxster beat the like Nissan GT because of aesthetics by 2 points,
Yeah.
I was enraged. Enraged. I was like, are you kidding me? It loses everywhere. Like, are you joke? But the aesthetics are cool. Like, I don't care if John from Minnesota
Yeah.
thinks it looks better. That means nothing to me. Like,
Heck,
what are you
John.
talking? I am still mad about it, right? So yeah,
Still
I
mad at John from Minnesota.
exactly. Yeah, I hate
I
that guy.
dude, listen, I like was raised on IGN. Like I
100%. Oh my god.
G4 TV and
Yes. Yes.
IGN,
And
like
how many
those
5 stars did you
ratings.
see?
Like
One a
none. Like
year. There was like one a year.
it would be like the Zelda
GTA
game. It
5
would
would be the only one.
yeah,
Exactly. There'd be
GTA
like
5,
one a year.
Zelda
It'd
Breath of the
be
Wild.
there'd be
Yeah.
one a year. Like
Yeah.
and it was like that's how I want our scoring to be. I want you to see twos. I want you to
Yeah.
see ones. I want you to see threes all day. Like, I don't want this to be
Mhm.
everything gets a 22. That it can't be that. It just can't
Mhm.
be that. It's not useful if it's that.
Yeah.
So I love the idea though of being able to be like, you could as like a sortable category, like highest member reviewed product or something like that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's cool.
Thumbs up or down. That's it. The score is 4 optional. Like you can get 4. We just go,
But it
nah.
also, like, again, it's like one more thing that we can extend to you as a member where you're like, nah, brah,
Yeah.
25's too high. Bump it down. Here's my score.
Yeah, so you can
I
yeah,
love that.
I do like that idea, and I agree because the other way I was thinking about it was the same kind of way that, he was thinking about it there was, Elliot was, that we could add our additional like, you would have your what we could do,
Yeah.
instead of affecting the score, is we just put, like, 1 sentence about it, and I've seen that a lot in, like, Field and Stream and Kayak Angler Mag and, whatever. Like,
Like Paul's perspective.
yeah, Paul's final thoughts, Jeff's final thoughts, and like we can do that with like, hey, while the Bixby K1 is a fantastic, innovative motor that we think is amazingly lightweight and fun to use, I have also found out how I can break it a lot. So, like that for example could be it. Hey,
Yep.
just make sure you get the fine screen to protect your prop
Or even just say, I
because,
wouldn't buy it without the fine screen. If I
and
did,
that
I'm in, right?
that would be what
That
I'd
really
say.
fine tuned.
And
Yeah.
always lock down your retractor cable.
Why?
Always. Why? I want my motor to eat it. Okay. So, anyways, I think we've covered a lot of obvious ones. Let's get to we're on the last two.
Yeah, yeah.
So, design, innovation, performance. The next one is quality,
Quality.
or as the Midwesterners would say, quality.
Yep, and maybe this is a little bit redundant on the performance side, but I don't think
Yeah.
it is. Like, I think there's something this also fits a little bit in a fit and finish. But yeah, I mean, maybe this one's redundant now. Maybe we need something different. But it's kind of self-evident. You know what? Now that I think about it, I think durability wouldn't fall into performance. I think it would fall into quality. That's how we did it when we did our ratings last time, right? How like what's the
Yeah.
quality of the product? Are you getting what you get, right? And I think
Yeah.
quality that's where you get like how do they ship the product? I also think that I don't, I guess I don't
I,
know where like customer service falls in, but it probably falls in here too. Like it's like the
yeah.
user experience, right?
I was thinking that, and I was curious about this because you mentioned durability under performance, and I'm kind of with Tanner on quality
I
as
am too.
durability.
I'm with you too. I
So
agree. Yeah.
I think and we'll bring it up as like as far as durability goes, blah blah blah, right? So under quality would be durability. I'm with
I
you.
also think it's small
Where does
stuff too, like, is this made of plastic or is it made of metal? Like, right, is it
sure or
aluminum
what
versus
type of
cast? Like,
plastic, or is
yep,
it magnesium?
exactly. Like, yeah, yeah,
Like yeah.
exactly. Also, like, whether it has Bluetooth or not, right? Like, some of
Mhm.
those things where you're like, yeah, I mean, yes, you could look, all of this stuff is a little bit this is why I think having the long form YouTube video is really helpful. So if you're like, "Man, I don't really understand the score," like, "Why did this score so low? It seems so great," right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
I'm just highlighting Ramon all night.
I love it. But, I mean, that's why having the like, I would love to have it where there's just, like, a link to, like, "Oh, this video
Yep.
references this is the long form reference of this is where the score came from. Here's this video," or whatever. I think that would really help.
Yeah. I agree. So I think all of that aside, customer service, like where does that live? Are we
Ye
saying quality? Like, does that fall into quality? I don't know if it fits perfectly into any of these categories,
It needs to
um,
be a part of it,
but
though,
it
because
needs to be a part of it.
but it's not always, but it does need to fall
Yeah.
somewhere. I mean, even, like,
Uh,
the website. Like, so
yeah.
we've talked about the
It should
website
probably
at,
just be our bonus point. Like,
no, no. I'm
no,
also
not
considering
score wise, like
yeah.
just the final thoughts we say, by the way, or as a non-scorable side. Go ahead. Why are you raising your hand on a podcast that you co-host?
Trying to be nice. So innovation, I think that you could put
Yeah.
innovation into
Mhm.
design and mix it, and then you could switch innovation with user experience.
Okay.
And that's like the whole thing. Like, because
Yep.
sometimes it's like, do they give you a bunch of discount codes? Do you get access to like special stuff? Is the shipping
Sure.
super duper fast? Is that type of thing? Like, are they the only ones who offer 1 day shipping? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. Like that to me, like, is the customer service stellar? Like, it's so good, it has to get bumped. Like, and then most of them are probably just going to be threes, but then occasionally you'll get like a one where it's like, this website is horrific. You literally cannot order from it, or maybe like when you call in, there's no call in line at all. They
Yeah.
just send you right to a hang up line. Like, I don't know. Like, I think maybe user experience is probably like, like and maybe this could go into, yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
We're doing this now.
I like
Hang
it.
on. You could literally just review a website though, or review customer service completely separately on all of these 5 categories. Like you could just do that.
Yeah.
Customer service is not like how many times have you called Rapala customer service?
No, totally.
Who's calling Rapala customers? Nobody
That's why
is.
I was saying it's user experience, because
Yeah.
maybe it's something that you can't find anywhere and you can only find it on eBay. That gets you a low score.
I still feel like you're buying it if you buy it from a tackle shop.
Mhm.
Like, am I reviewing a tackle shop in Wisconsin that I've never been to? No. I
That's
feel
not
like
that yeah, that's not my point. My point was, if it's not
if it's not
available on
universal, though, if it's not a universally
you can't
applicable
rate it.
scoring
Yeah, I
system,
agree.
we can't do that.
But I think it is universal because the user experience is like everything. And then I think when it's all fine, like, I can pretty much get it wherever I need to. It wasn't difficult to get. The
Mhm.
customer service was totally fine. I've never heard anything bad about it.
Yeah,
Uh, you know, installing it,
bro. Here you go.
yeah,
Literally,
yeah.
Debo adds a like note to a review. And it's just Debo's
I
customer
yeah,
service tip of the day.
uh,
I want that so bad.
fair enough.
I just like we do everything else, all the other ratings, and then we're like, yo,
That's the one
Debo,
he gets.
what do you
I
think
think
about Rapala customer service? He's like, oh, trash. I
Yeah, I
was
just
like,
wonder, like, do we really need innovation? Could that fall under design? And then now you've got a place to put this, because right now I don't
oh,
think we
it could fall
like, I
under
don't
design.
like, I wonder, like, if we don't have a place to put this when it happens and it's horrible. So,
Mhm.
horrible website, and it's only available on that website. You can't get anywhere else, or it's all like maxed fishing lures. They're always out of
So
stock. Like, dude, that sucks. Like, it could get you can capture all that stuff.
here's what we need right now, team, is a category that could include customer service accessibility. Maybe it's accessibility,
Availability.
availability.
I mean, even like that could also include like, how hard or easy is it to install? put together? Do you need to go buy special tools?
Installation setup, the Yak Attack
Is there
Black
an
Pack
app?
versus
Is there an
Wilderness.
app that
Yeah.
actually works or not? Like, are they
Hmm.
available? Is
Oh,
it only available in
yep.
China? Can you only get it on
Cast King app.
Alibaba? Like all that kind of
Yep.
stuff. Like I feel like that's a huge realm of like the value
Ease
proposition.
ease of use.
That's not like
That's
user experience.
close.
User experience gets all that stuff pretty easily.
You think so?
I
Yeah.
think so because user
In the
experience
IT
encompasses
world,
like
it's called,
everything.
yep, we call that user
Exactly.
experience.
Yeah,
Thank you, Elliot. So I would say change. Can you also put in parentheses next to design, like that we need to remember innovation in there? And then next to quality, we wanted durability.
I got it. Yeah, I'm on it.
Y'all are helping us build this brick by brick, baby. Appreciate you guys. So, Elliot, fantastic. User experience. That is going to be the second rating now. And that'll be like, you got, the Yak Attack Black Pack. Fantastic kayak crate. What a B to put together.
If you don't have a power drill that you're really good with, you might
Yeah.
as well just get 2 new forearms or
You have to
farm
be
the damn thing
skilled,
out.
fully adjustable torque on your power, on like your power tools, or
Or you need
you're
2 hours set aside with no distractions
no,
in a room where if you can't lose a screw.
nope. When it's done, great. It's
But I
got 15 pounds of screws in
but yeah, but I mean,
it.
think about like IKEA.
Yeah.
There's only one big, huge, gigantic store that you can buy it from.
Mhm.
You have to walk 600 miles through a forest to get to where it is, and then you got to get back out.
Make a
Then you get
wish,
home,
cross a
and they give you
bridge.
9 Allen wrenches, 48 different types of screws. Versus, I mean,
The
how great was
Performax.
the Performax bench? They only had one type of screw. That's the whole thing, and
It's so
it was
genius.
for a screwdriver, not an Allen wrench that you could put it together with a drill. And there were only 7 pieces, and they did all the hard stuff for you. Like
You guys, if you're looking for a good workbench, I'm Paul's not just saying this. I hard agree. I helped him build that bench behind him because he's a one-arm man right
it
now.
was so easy.
It is, if you have a Menards near
The
you, it's
pleasure.
Performax 6-foot workbench
I'll
with
do a review on
power.
this.
It's
I'll
200
do. I'm gonna film one tonight.
it's $266, that workbench behind him, with a wood top, with 6 outlets and
Oh,
2 USBs, with the pegboard included, which is mounted to the workbench, not the wall. Yeah,
got
this
pegboards on the legs. I've got 40 hats hanging from
so
pegs
insane.
on the legs.
Yeah. This thing
Psychotic.
is, you guys need a workbench, get that one. It's fantastic. I'm just saying.
Comes in 5 colors: red, blue, white, black. Maybe it's just 4. There you go.
It's getting rated on the site. That's what I know.
I'm gonna do a. I'm gonna do a. That's gonna be my video for tomorrow. I'll film it after this.
Well, yes, that. And also we have to rate the hats that we always get. Like we
We
start rating
1,000,000,000%
hats and
have to
apparel.
rate hat brands because I have
Yes.
become. I was thinking about this
Richardson
on the way
112
home.
or die.
Or die, but very specific Richardson
Yep.
112s. Some of them are
Yes.
not as good as other. It's the 112. I think it's
Agree.
the standard, not the R. There's an R. That one is dog. Do not get that
Do not. R edition, more like ridiculously bad edition. All right. New ecom business. What's up, Ted? Thanks for hanging out tonight. Yeah, new ecom for sure.
Well, we were
Next
talking about it, like having
billion-dollar
it be on
idea.
a website's a big deal. And then,
Mhm.
oh, I guess let's hit the last one real quick so we can get on. So the
Okay,
last
so
one. So
yeah.
now we are design/innovation, user experience, performance, quality, which would include durability. The last one, and this is super important, is relative cost. It's not just cost. It's
Mhm.
what does this cost relative to other similar or comparable products that are available. So, for example, the Performax versus a homemade, the Performax versus other tool benches that you can get on Temu or that you can get at Home Depot and other brands, right? Not is it $1,000 or $2? Because that might not be expensive for me, but so I can't just rate it on its own. It's what compared like a Yeti. It's extremely expensive compared to an Arctic, right? And so
Right.
that's how you're going to get that rating. And then when you put all 5 of those things together, what you end up with is how good did they execute against their value proposition and what did you have to pay for it? And that whole thing ends up being somebody just said it. Isn't that value? Yes. We are expressing our perception of the value of just that product. So, is it $2,000? Yeah. That's very expensive. Yeah. But it's still a value because it's bringing all these other things to the table, in our opinion. Is it
Mhm.
$4? It's just cheap garbage? No. it actually performs really well. So even though it's $4, it's especially high value. So it's going to get an especially high score. That's the whole thing we're trying to do, is express how well have they achieved their value proposition.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's all of the categories, right?
That's
I
all
think we
5,
covered
baby.
everything. So yeah, relative cost is an interesting one. If you guys can think of like any other
We struggled
terms
with
for
this
that
one.
one,
Jeff and I went
yeah,
back and forth because it is really important that, you know,
isn't that value? That is originally the term that I had on it, and then we said cost, and then we said relative
well,
cost.
then we
So
said we are
yeah,
describing value. That's what we're actually describing. This whole thing is meant to describe value. So it's
mm,
what did you pay and versus what you got.
yeah,
Because you can be expensive and still be a high value. You can be cheap and be a high value. You can be expensive and be a crap value. You can be cheap and be a crap value. So you have to
mhm.
figure it. There's a balance there, and that's what we're trying to show you guys is across these 5 things. This is how you determine, is this a good
Well,
value or not.
I think to their point though, and like Ramon's point here too, is that value may fit better in the way that we're describing it. It's just like this costs this much, and it's a value, like it's a high value
Mhm.
for that. Or when we say we feel
Well,
something is value, and then somebody outside the industry says like that kayak's $1,800, that can't be a value. What are you
well,
talking about?
let me explain this. Here's why it's
Mhm.
not value, and I think Yeti's a really good example.
Put it to a
Yetis.
vote, says Ramon. While you explain Chaz, can you
Yeah,
put
well, hold on. This
value
is
versus
let me.
relative
Yeah.
cost? But go ahead.
So relative cost is a component of value. Because when I say Yetis are not a good cost,
Yes.
right? Yetis are
Mhm.
not a good cost, or not a good value. That's for some people. That's not true. Some people look at a
Mhm.
Yeti and they're like, "Yeah, it's very expensive," but that could be the last cooler I ever buy.
Sure.
And so, but the relative cost, it's going to be high, but you're going to express what did you get for that money, and that's the value. So that's, I think relative cost stands on its own, and we're trying to explain with this rating scale what is the value? Is it a high value or a low value? So the score is basically saying, is that a high or low value? You can't just say the cost is a value or not. That you can't do that because that's a component of 2 things. It's what you pay for what you got. If you have to pay $5,000 to get 20,000 of your favorite baits, is that a value or not? Well, $5,000, you would say that's not a value. That's so much money. But maybe the cost of each bait is now a nickel instead of $20. That would super be a value. 100% that would be a value. So I don't think
Sure.
you can express cost and say it's a value without explaining what you got for the dollar. And that's what this whole rating is supposed to be.
Fair. What does chat say? Chat says, shut up, Paul. It's value. 70-30%. That's so savage. You
I
just
don't
I
understand it. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'll never be able to get behind that because like is
then go fight
like
the chat
relative
right now.
cost is a
Fight them.
component of value. Oh well,
Sure.
relative cost is a
You're right.
component value. Change my mind.
Um, that all right. So it's a component of value, right? And
Hmm.
value
Yes.
is a legitimate option for a category because relative cost would be tied into it.
So
The
then, what are you
relative
explaining with this
cost is
whole
a part of
thing?
value. We're picking the
Exactly.
name of the
The whole
category.
goal of these 5 things are meant to all be
Oh,
together what the value is.
I see what you're suggesting. However, maybe we just need a different term for that. Like overall, you decide what you
I'm
want.
down for a different term. That term sucks. I agree.
Yeah, because value, I don't believe is ever perceived properly. So what chat and I are suggesting is that we make
Yeah.
category 5 value, and then the overall determination of the score. We're not suggesting it's value in terms of that term. It could be something. It's basically, should you buy it? Should you buy it?
But that's what the
Or-
overall rating is supposed to tell
Correct.
you.
It's telling you should you buy it.
So it
Therefore,
can't be a component of itself. Like,
no, because we're not using it as a term.
oh,
I think you're overcomplicating it. In terms of people's understanding of what these reviews
yeah.
are, they're not thinking of the word value. We keep
Mhm.
saying value, but it keeps
Yeah.
getting misinterpreted. We're
Mhm.
like, what do you mean value? It's $1,800. So
Exactly.
like if it's misunderstood, then why would we try to sell that? Like
That's what I'm
nobody gets it.
now I'm super lost. What if it was just cost, not relative cost? And that was what the term that last bucket was. What if it was just cost? Like our perception of the
I
cost
don't
of it.
love cost because perception of cost is different than cost, which is why we're all saying value. Like it just makes more sense in
So,
terms of that category.
man, I'm so confused. Okay.
I think I'm not sure where we're crossing the wires
We're
here.
crossing wires because you're basically saying all of these
Yep.
5 things are components of value. Like when you decide if something's a value for you or not,
Mm-hmm.
if you cost is a part of value.
Channel about to end over Paul.
No,
Listen,
God,
if you
no.
guys don't know Paul, he dies on hills.
I'm not like
like
dying.
5 before
I'm
breakfast.
legitimately trying to
Yep.
understand what you guys are saying because to me, if I'm gonna go buy something, the cost is a component of the value. So to me, when I'm trying to figure out if something's a value or not, cost is the important part. Like not value. That's what I'm trying to figure out is the value. So if you just say
Mhm.
what's the value and that's a component of it, how can a value be a
No.
component of a score for value? That's what I'm confused about, I guess is all I'm saying.
What essentially where you're hung up right now, I think I'm picking up on now, is that once you do the rating in all these 5 categories, you end
Yeah.
up with a number,
Yeah.
right? And that number to you is determining value. However, that
Mhm.
number to most people is just determining is this worth buying or not?
Yes.
And they're not thinking you're adding an equal sign plus the word value to it when we don't need to. Like essentially
I
the
got you.
final
I got you. I got
score
you. Okay.
the
I
final
got
score
you.
can just stand
Yep.
alone and we can just say, look, 5th
I
category
got you.
value, or a few people
Mhm.
said like relative value, like, something like that, I think would be totally fine. Yeah,
I
and
wouldn't do
value
relative.
can
I would do
cover,
value in that way, and then it's the same thing. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. If that makes sense to more people, and that's how you gotta market it, I totally get it. And what I would say is,
yeah,
like, you can't I don't the one thing that would always bother me is if we call this because we were gonna call this the AAA value stack. Basically saying, like, this is the value proposition. So to
yeah.
me, that would have to change.
The overall
Yeah.
determination of the score
Yeah.
being
Like,
value
what are
prop.
we actually saying? Because then I'm not describing the value, I'm describing something else.
Yeah, because I don't think we are describing the value per
Yeah,
se.
and to me,
Not to everybody. Mhm.
that's what I was trying to accomplish when we put this together. So,
I think
yeah, that totally makes sense then. I'm
we're
down.
just rating fishing products,
Yeah,
like, just so it has a consistent number.
great.
But yeah, the value we can wrap up into that cost. Yeah, they Ted goes, we should whiteboard this before you go out talking about this on a podcast. And then Elliot goes, what do you think we're doing? This whiteboard is live, people. This whiteboard
Yeah,
is
we are
live.
literally doing this in our brains.
What I say, you guys are helping us build this brick by brick,
Mhm.
punch v punch. Paul and I fighting each other over things.
No, yeah.
No, I wasn't fighting. You were fighting. Shut up.
It always sounds like fighting with 2 people that have ADHD, but it's really
Yeah,
legit. I'm trying to decipher what you're saying because it
and I'm
doesn't
trying
make
to
sense to me.
decipher how to explain what I'm saying. All right,
Exactly.
Storm
Yeah.
Wells. Remember for 39 months.
Damn,
Holy
son.
cow. Going into our 4th year here. Love it. So dads are fighting again.
Actually, now that I think of it, that was our first huge change was, doing the members only
Yeah.
and making the podcast the live show. Those were our first huge changes.
Yeah, if you go back on the changes on the channel, it was, we went live at like episode 26 of the
Mhm.
previous podcast. Then we added memberships and we added members only for those memberships. Then we went no sponsors.
No, then we
Fired all,
changed the name.
fired all. Oh, changed the name. Then no
Then we went no
sponsors.
sponsors. Yeah.
We did do a whole year with the name change, which is like minimal change at best, but like did that change the podcast, all that. We thought it was huge at the time, and
It felt
then
like a big deal.
going no sponsors was definitely a bigger change for us. Huge in terms of
To you guys, I think
operational.
changing the name was a bigger deal. To us, going no sponsors was a way bigger deal.
That's a
It
big
changed
switch.
everything. It really did.
Big switch.
And we
And
actually are doing
now,
one that you guys barely even know about in the background right now.
which one? What do we
VAs.
know? Oh yeah, we hired VAs to edit one of our videos a week,
Yeah.
which is also why in the heart of times,
Mhm.
when it's hard times, like I'm paying VAs to edit videos, and I'm like, you guys maybe take a break for the winter. We'll talk later. We'll come back to you. It's part of bootstrapping a channel, folks. But yeah, we We hired the VAs. They're editing 1 video a week right now. So right now, if you see a thumbnail and you're like, that doesn't look like their normal thumbnail, that's VA video. The frog video, the BSC video, all of those ones. I think I'm doing a pretty good job editing. One problem is we did a catch and cook, and they didn't include the cook part, and I was like, I uploaded these videos. I was like, bro, for real?
The name of the video.
The literal.
God bless him.
Yeah, I literally have in the video clips, I'm looking at it right now. Fish fillet, cracking cans, starting the stove, taco assembly, cleaning the cooler.
I don't remember
top.
seeing any of that on the water.
None of those are in the video. And
Psychotic.
Somebody commented and they're like, you called it a catch and cook. There's no catch and cook. And I was like, I know, dude. Like,
well, now that you think about it.
Anyways, other than that, it's been great. Other than that, it's been fantastic. So if anybody was like, hey, I saw Paul filleting this fish and then nobody ate the fish, that's what happened. Sorry.
We're all alive. The audience was cooked.
Mistakes happen. The audience got cooked at us.
Catch and clean, and then we're done.
Catch and clean.
Oh God! Yeah, do all the work, eat nothing.
Catch and clean.
My word. My God.
Maybe we just I'll just edit the cooking part and throw it into members only. What do you guys think about that? So
it was really fun, dude. It was actually good. It was good stuff.
Here was the coolest part about this, you guys. We took the Rugged Road lid and it floats. And like that's the cutting board. So it comes right off the cooler. So Paul pops the Rugged Road lid off the cooler, takes the
2 little feet and you pick it up.
The blood and guts down to the water, rinse it off in the lake, walk on back. But you could just you could fillet on the water, dude. You can fillet on the water.
Oh, me and the captain, we made it happen.
Yeah. All right. So we will I will edit the cooking part. Cooking, edit for member. I'm putting this on my to-do list for members. Do you have a new whiteboard for $1 million ideas in your office yet, Paul?
I have the old one and I actually need to find a way to hang it. I'm really kind of struggling with that one. I actually, I think I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna rip all this white stuff out and I'm gonna put green board behind it. So I can drill through that and have something hard to mount things to, because as much as this is soft insulation that's hung, and I got to get rid of this. So I think I'm just going to put green board all the way. It's so easy to do. You just glue it and press it up and it stays on forever. And then that way I can do Tapcon screws through that. And then whenever I want to hang something, I just have to do that. And then it's actually really easy. And then I'm still going to do the backdrop over it because it would be really clean, I think.
There you go. I like it. We should definitely do that. All right, cool. So I will do that. We went through the rating system. So we already used this rating system for a video. So
we used a version. We used the whatever's before beta.
Not what you all helped us improve upon. So now we have the from beta to next. What is the next version after beta? Somebody tell me in chat. I don't know. So it's beta 2, the second coming of the beta. I don't know what do you call the second version. Anyways, Gamma. Thank you, Kitchen Patrol. Sure, we're on Gamma version now. So we'll use that for a couple. Yeah, Nicholas Huber 1.0. Tanner is before. So we'll test out this next version. So we got a motor video using the previous version. We'll test out the next version of the rating system. Once we nail it down, we'll have the website. We'll post reviews on the website. We'll do all those things.
In our concept, you guys, was actually to build this up, and then eventually have companies have like a media kit that we send to companies where we say like, hey, this is who we are. This is what we do. If you haven't seen us, this is it. Check out the brochure, essentially the digital brochure. Would you like to send us a blah, blah, blah? And then we'll film a video. We'll test it out. We'll do some shorts. We'll put it on the water, and then you get a rating whenever we can do it as soon as possible. And then, you'll be on here. And then the idea would be that we could continuously do that and do more and more and more. Right.
Yep. That is the plan. And I think that'll be at least, a change, obviously, for the channel. Would be something that's fun for us. to try out this year as well. And if you guys love it, then awesome. We'll keep doing it. And if you hate it, then we'll see, because we'll look at the view count and we can decide if we continue doing it or not. But I think it's a fun way to change up the unboxings and gear reviews. Also, the gear reviews will be, the number of products reviewed on that video are going to be minimized. Also, the unboxings maybe too. Sometimes we get like 30 or 40 random things, and like we just unbox it all in one
What should
episode.
we name this thing? So I added value to
Yeah.
the number 5. So now they are design, user experience, performance, quality, and value. So then what are we calling this? What are we calling this rating? Because we had it as value initially. So what are we calling it now?
Great question. Glad you asked.
Well, I'm asking everybody, right?
Chat.
What should it be called? Like, I want it to be the fishy scale. I don't hate it.
Scale.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Oh man.
Dads on Tackle sounds oddly erotic, and I don't like it.
Wait, what? Dad's on
Dads
Tackle?
on Tackle.
Dad's on Tackle. DOT.
That should be an OnlyFans.
That's the only fins.
The aggressively average score.
I kind of love that. I kind of love that a lot.
I know, that's mine. Okay, that's one. I'm writing down options, so I'm gonna write a bunch down that we like. Yeah.
And when we abbreviate it, we got to call it ASS. It's AAS. What's the ASS score?
I don't think we should do that.
Why wouldn't we? Grow up. All right. What other ideas? Yeah, I like aggressively average.
AAA rating system is already there.
The AAA hot take.
The average with capital A.
I kind of like that a lot. I might be top tiered right now.
I'm writing them all down. If I see a good one, it's going on.
Look, I ain't wrong. The ass score is the best.
We do need to come up with some funny names for like perfect scores, bottom dwellers. You know what I mean?
Peach. This would be the perfect score. And it's just the emoji. It's just the peach emoji. The AAA mild take. Not high.
I like
the
AAA's take is not horrible.
I like it.
We got to workshop this. This needs a lot more work. There's something here that I feel like we're, if we're archers and we're just ripping arrows, we're Legolasing this out. We have not hit a bullseye.
But we'll get there.
What's there. PVR? Am I supposed to know what that is?
Puerto Vallarta Airport. What are we talking about here? I just bought the website, so we have that.
What is it?
Aggressively average anglers.
Oh, phew.
I call that paulasdumb.com. Like, don't listen to Paula
that would make more sense, actually. I think I'm more down
for me to purchase that.
You buy that.
Yeah, do buy that. Wild or mild score. Love that. Wild or mild. AAA
value just to make Paul arc out. I would crash out over that. You can't call it value. I will crash out. 100%. Definition. Look, semantics.
So I can't
semantics
score
matter.
Value and
semantics
then
matter.
Overall score is the value.
Semantics do matter.
Nobody was
public
on board
viewer rating. I see that. Okay.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, AAA smasher pass.
I don't think it should be a question.
Smash or pass, as seen on AAA.
The S&P.
The S&P.
I wonder if it could be like an index, because it can't. Guys, the other thing is it can't be fishing related, because it may be non-fishing things that we end up doing too.
Yeah, I'm still liking the average or ass.
The aggressive, yeah, it's got to aggressive has to be in there.
The aggressive average.
Wait. Aggressive average score is not
nerd approved. We go back to your.
But I don't want the finality of it. I'm trying to think of what are we calling the score. Like I want to
nerd score.
reference the score. You know what I mean?
Nerd score.
So the aggressively average is getting closer.
Yeah. The double A swipe right. Oh man.
The aggressive average has I like that. Actually, I like that. The aggressive average is pretty good because that's exactly what
Yep.
it is. It's an average score.
The aggressive average.
And then we can use our text and everything and
Yep.
our colors and stuff and our logo, our branding. I think that's the one, the aggressive average.
Nice.
And then we could do like AAA approved and all that kind of crap. You know, we can mess around with all that. I
Yep.
like that. Wins above replacement. That's what you could call the value rating. That's what we could switch value to. The war.
Oh man. All right. I think we made some strides here. The aggressive average for right now, I think
That's pretty
that's
good.
up there.
That one's got a nice ring to it.
I'll take
And
it.
also, you guys, the other thing too, it needs to be branding because we've got to remember, it has to look good on the website. So, but it also has to match all the branding and everything. So, I think it does have to at least incorporate like the A's in there.
Right.
AAA analytics could be like the whole section on the website for sure.
Yep.
Okay, you got ass in there. I like that. AASS, aggressively average score system.
Wait,
Okay.
so what was AAS again? It was aggressively average just score.
That's just
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Nah, I don't
Yes.
can't it doesn't ring. The aggressive average, it actually rings a little bit. It rolls off the tongue. The aggressively definitely not value.
Aggressively
Score.
not valuable score.
It's not value. Just to be super, super clear about that. The aggressive aggregate.
The aggressive aggregate was interesting.
The nerd in me loves that.
I love an aggregate.
I love a good aggregate.
Aggressively average affirmations.
Oh, we could go the opposite route. We could go the what's the guy's name from Parks and Rec? Ron. We could do the
Ron
route.
Swanson.
The score.
It's the score.
It's a score.
It has a score.
Here is a score.
Does it suck?
This is
score?
therating.com.
Why would I need a different name? Also,
goodratings.com. It
give me
expresses
all your
exactly
bacon.
what it is that you're buying.
I don't think you heard me correctly. When I
I
said
all of
your
the
bacon,
eggs that you have.
You might be thinking, I mean a lot.
A lot.
I mean
all of the eggs
all of
that you have.
All right. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm excited to try this system out and
Braid our shit.
All right. Well, we've divulged.
We've gone too far.
We're gonna be using this in coming videos. So, like I said, we got the beta version coming out with the motor video. The next one that we do will be the gamma version, or 1.0 or 1.1 or whatever.
Gamma. I've got the Delta coming in hot.
That's next. But we'll keep updating it, trying to get it to a point where we are really happy with it. You guys really like it, all of that. And I just bought the website, so I mean, something happened. I took action today. Now we gotta make it, put stuff on it.
The Mr. Zanshin asks if the new TFO Pro Series is up to snuff. Yes, it is.
Oh, it's better than the last. It is better than the last iteration. I have both the same exact medium, heavy, moderate, 7.3 rod, 7.6. 7.6? Yeah, I have a 7.6 caster. It is so nice.
And I have the
so
spinning.
Nice.
It's nice.
100%. And it's like, I mean, it's the same price the other one was, 120.
Ramon, why would you buy a website that we didn't think we would ever need?
Wait, what?
He was like, wait a minute, you just now own your own branded domain?
Sick burn, Ramon.
Well, we kind of need to buy both because you need to own
what do you mean
anglers and you need to own aggressivelyaverageanglers.com.
And now you said it on the show, so somebody is inevitably going to buy that domain this second.
It's not going to be expensive.
Well, now it's going to be, because if we want,
we're in a bidding war.
Like, yo, Jeff, I may or may not have picked that up. But like, if you want, you could have it from me for $6,000 to $8,000.
Exactly. Ramon goes to GoDaddy.com.
Ramon, put down that clicker.
Don't you do it.
You put down that clicker.
Babe, wait. Babe.
Babe, no.
Wait.
Babe, wait,
No,
please.
babe.
Let me just have this. Get out of here.
Well, while Jeff is
Jokes.
doing that, let's get on to Slow Rolling Thunder. Jeff, what is the best fishing movie that you've ever seen? I will go ahead and say probably Jaws. No, not Jaws. Jaws is trash. I would say Deep Blue Sea.
Probably Jaws.
Deep Blue Sea.
Fishing or fish related? How much fishing do they do
Fish
in Deep Blue
adjacent
Sea?
movie.
Fish adjacent.
What
We did
about
a whole podcast about that.
Sharknado 3? Probably rocketing up the list.
Just Sharknado 1 is plenty
3
of
is
greatness.
he chainsaws himself out of a carcass.
He does that in the first one.
They do it 3 times in the third one.
Because it's 3. You idiots.
What do you mean, idiot? What are you talking about? You're telling me the one is better than 3, and you're going to be rating things on the internet for money? You're out of your mind.
Yeah, you're already fired. All right.
You think that's value? You think
don't worry.
Value? You watched it just to get one chainsaw shark carcass? You're crazy.
Listen. First of all, shut up. Second of all, don't worry. Triple Anglers, hours picked it up. All right, so we got all that.
Finding
stuff.
Nemo is a great answer. That is a very good movie.
Finding Nemo and
Finding Dory is trash.
It came out relatively close to when I was in high school, and in my commercial art class, we had to watch it like every week. Like it's just our teacher was like, "I'm not doing anything."
I think I had my first official
this is
smooch.
art.
I think I had my first official smooch at after Finding Nemo.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I had one of mine with Ice Age. Why are these animated flicks?
I don't know. Just gets the people going.
It just gets the people going.
Perfect Storm is pretty good. I actually did like that movie. I know a lot of people
Perfect
hated
Storm,
it. The ending kind of sucked, but I enjoyed
ending
it.
sucks.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the reality
movie,
of tragedy.
It's a good movie, though.
It's a tragedy. Forrest Gump.
Oh, the shrimp. Yeah.
Shrimping.
That's not even fish, though. I don't know. That's fish adjacent. That's really pushing it.
Fried shrimp. Butterfly shrimp.
I'm sticking with my answer. Okay, next one.
I don't get to answer. That's
I thought my bad. I thought you did.
No, go ahead. Whatever.
Well, hit it. No, hit it. Give me whatever you got. Let's go.
Let's go. Without a Paddle.
Great movie. But
right?
Do they fish?
I mean, they're in a river. We're saying fish adjacent. There were fish.
There wasn't even a fishing pole in the movie, was there?
There were fish in the river.
I didn't see any.
They're there.
I don't know if you can have that. Great movie. I don't know if you can have that.
Oh man, fish. We did a whole.
I love Without a Paddle. Such a good movie. We did a whole thing on this.
Grumpy Old Men.
Oh, so good.
Yeah,
Dead fish. Great one. So good.
We did.
And either one.
We didn't just do a thing on this. We did
a whole show. It was great.
What we haven't talked about in a while because we haven't done one.
Yeah.
What we just talked about before the show. What do we got to do?
We do need to do a bracket here.
There it is. It was a bracket.
That'll be our last one. What would you guys like to see for a bracket challenge here? Coming in hot. So if we did a bracket challenge,
bring the bracket back.
Would you want to do like best cheap baits? I mean, that kind of collects two of the things that we've been talking about.
Best cheap, or do we want to say budget?
Cheap.
Okay.
Let's just do the lean in.
Timu? Is Timu on the chart?
It doesn't mean it's going to be your favorite, but it should be on the list.
I don't know enough of them. Best cheap baits. Is it plastics? Is it hard baits? Is it like?
Yep, it is.
Because if we do a bracket, we usually do Sweet 16.
Yeah. So you could do soft baits on the left, hard baits on the right.
Okay. So, okay, I'm fine with that because it's going to come down to.
How is Young Dinger going to lose? It's going to go up against.
The Dinger is going to be going up against
Zoom, Trickworm,
or Fluke,
or
Zoom Fluke.
I mean,
Zoom's not cheap anymore.
Originals versus copycats. I love that.
Original versus copycat.
Oh, and then
I think we have enough.
Thing. Dude.
All right, that's it. We'll
figure out how to. We'll figure out how to do it. We got to do this. Even if it's not a bracket, it's like it's just us going a whole bunch of them against each other. That's what we're doing. Where is that Excel sheet? I gotta find that, dude.
We haven't done a bracket in so long. We don't even know where the sheet is. We'll figure it out, you guys. We'll find it. I love the idea, DeBurley. Thank you so much. And
found it.
yeah, original versus copycat. That'll be a lot of fun.
Genius, dude. Genius.
Manny Clips might have the next one. New baits versus old school. So new school, old school.
I'll do. So hold on. Oh, come on, dude. Just put yourself in there. All right. Arena. So we're gonna do a ridge. Copy. I only have one hand. I don't know why I'm doing this. And then the other one is gonna be what is it? What did we just say?
Hang on. We totally stole Feather Outdoors thunder on this because he said it before DeBurley did. So I want it known here.
All right, might be. Feather, you can have it, bro. My bad.
DeBurley
is a copycat. So is it Feather versus DeBurley? You guys are the first one up.
That's the first bracket is Feather versus DeBurley. Who did it better?
Who did it? What was the other one? Was it? So we did
original new school versus old school.
Okay, I don't hate it.
Right? Like, I think it'd be fun.
It'd be fun. Okay, that's 2. We're good. That'll carry us for 30 years.
You got like the head crazy crawler versus the jackal, like pompadour. That'd be sick.
I like this. This is gonna be fun.
We
could also do in this if these don't have to be brackets. We could do cheap versus expensive
videos.
Just like
we do a vid.
like just a whole bunch of polls. We'll do like 20 polls. We'll just come up with a whole bunch of them. It doesn't have to be like a winner or loser situation.
Yeah. We don't always have to do a bracket. We've done that before,
like that.
Yeah, we've done that before a bunch of times. Tons of fun. Best bait names, colors. So Ramon, these are also great ideas. Best bait names, best bait colors.
Hold on. The best bait name should be a bracket then.
We've talked about that in the past, and I love the idea of it. You know what else I like the idea of? Paul, tell me if you think this is a good idea or a stupid idea.
Okay, it's done. Let's move on.
Ready cool. to go? Well, that's fine. I didn't want to share my idea anyway.
Oh god.
Okay. You've seen the TikToks where the husband has the wife try to name football teams based on their logos?
Fantastic, yes.
How do you feel about having our wives try to name
Oh my
lures?
God.
Like you show them a lure.
So first of all, the jiggly juggler.
What kind of lure is this? It's like, well, brand, right? You can't do logos.
Not brand. They won't know the brands. They won't know the brands.
No, but like it doesn't matter if they know them or not. Like that's what makes it funny. But the problem with showing logos like the guys who
I would have them
NFL
name
teams,
the
name is in the logo on most.
Yeah, Rebel brands. Is the word Rebel. Zoom
exactly.
Is the
word
so
that Zoom. Wouldn't work.
But we could do name this bait and like name this color and then name the color.
Yes, I think that could be fun.
I like that. That's fun.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm saying yes. I've said yes like 15 times.
All right, let's do it.
Who are you convincing?
Like, for real, can we? Just got to figure out time. Maybe we get the wives on. They're not gonna.
The problem is
but
one of the wives is gonna have to watch all of the kids, or we're gonna have to turn the TV on because we'll have to do them like one at a time.
We just bring them down. All right, your turn. Come on.
Wow. Like,
name this bait.
Yeah,
all right,
exactly.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I hear his kid screaming. Run upstairs.
Oh my god!
What are you doing? I'm busy. I'm filming.
My job.
No, job.
My job.
Exactly. Yeah.
That takes up close to as much time as my real job. Don't tell anybody else that. We could do that, or we could film it separately. Like, I mean, we can find a way to make it happen.
We should. I like that's not tying one. We should let them watch a knot tying tutorial for like one time and then see how they tie the knot.
Bro, just amidst the winter videos, that's like our shutdown time anyways. Yeah. Like we should do that. We can get together, we get the family together, and then we'll do like 3 videos with the
but then we have to like make a pie or something.
All right. I like that. Equality is what I'm here for.
Exactly.
So I love that. We'll be like, ha ha ha, they don't know fishing lures.
And then we have to do something they're very good at. Haley will be like, run 30 miles, dickhead.
My wife will be like, read this very long book in 2 days.
Oh yeah. Damn it.
I've lost. And remember what it's about. Not a chance.
Forfeit.
Not a chance. Yeah, your wife with running. Rachel with reading, or honestly, she's way craftier than I am.
See, I'm pretty.
I'm not though, but it would be my wife,
It would
my
be funny to
challenge.
watch you do
I'll
it.
do that.
It'd be funny to watch you do it.
No, it'll be terrible.
Build
I'll
me
figure
something that looks good. Oh, you got me with that last part.
looks okay.
Yeah,
Looks
the Jeff
mid.
value stack aesthetics, it's mid at best.
2 to 3. It's pushing a
I'm
3.
shooting for 3.
No decimal points, so it's a 2. All right.
Oh, man.
This is really helpful, you guys. Like,
Yeah,
fantastic.
100%. This was great.
Thank
I feel so
you.
much better about our categories.
Thank you guys. And it seems like we all got kind of into it. So I mean, that's cool. If you're excited about it, we're excited about it because we want to make things that are both fun for us, but also actually work on YouTube. So that's what we're
Successful,
gonna
like
do.
we talked about.
Otherwise, why the heck would we even do it?
Yeah.
Other than, I mean, we get to hang out with our friends, which is great, but we would just do the lives. Like, forget the videos posted. We just go live the rest of the time. But this has been really great, you guys. Thank you so much. And a lot of positive words tonight. Again, I can't tell you how much we appreciate it.
A lot of negative words too. Thanks for that.
To you,
I'm joking.
Calm down about value or whatever.
I'm joking. Well, just get it right.
I'm not joking anymore. I hate you guys. No, this was great. And again, we'll be back. Paul's on the mend. You know, he had a successful surgery, so we're happy to have Paul back.
Watch this.
Wow.
I can twist. I can.
Look at you learning to walk again. So impressed. Shut up.
Ow.
It's the ow for me. It's so good. All right. We'll be back next week with another live. We appreciate you guys so much. And members, again, it's November 12th is when we'll do our next members only. Love you guys. Thanks a lot. Have a great night. Chaz takes out.